Hey, Celtics fans. Today we've got some big news coming out of Boston, and it's a mix of concern and cautious optimism. In the preseason finale against the Toronto Raptors, Jaylen Brown had to exit the game early due to left hamstring tightness, leaving just about 7 minutes into the first quarter and not returning. For a team that relies so heavily on his scoring, defense, and versatility, seeing number 7 leave the court early is never an easy thing to digest. But before we panic or start worrying about the season ahead, let's break down what happened, what it might mean, and why this isn't necessarily a season-altering issue. Looking back at the sequence, it wasn't an immediately obvious injury. Brown had just received an outlet pass and was pushing the ball up the court when he made a pass ahead to Anthony Simons. On the surface, there was nothing dramatic, no awkward landings, no sudden twists, but in the following possession, as he was retreating on defense, you could see him moving gingerly. His pace was slower, more cautious, and he eventually held his left hamstring, signaling discomfort. At the next stoppage, he headed straight to the locker room. Now, there's been a lot of speculation online about the exact moment this injury occurred, with some pointing to an earlier fall during a drive into the paint, where a collapsed defense led to him tripping. While it's unclear if that's the definitive cause, what matters is that he's dealing with a hamstring issue, and the Celtics will have to manage it carefully. Historically, Jaylen has had a few injury concerns, though not always related to the hamstring. He's missed time in the past due to knee issues, including a playoff run against the Brooklyn Nets a couple of years ago. That said, hamstring problems are familiar territory. Back in late 2021, he missed a string of games due to a hamstring strain and then suffered a setback after returning, leading to a few more games missed. That history is why it's important for the Celtics to be patient now. Rushing him back could easily extend his absence, and the last thing Boston needs is to see a key All-NBA caliber player sidelined longer than necessary. The preseason is always a time to test rotations and get players back into rhythm, but injuries like this remind everyone that health management is just as crucial as on-court performance. The timing isn't ideal, especially with the regular season approaching in less than a week. Opening night against the Philadelphia 76ers is right around the corner, and having Brown available would be a huge boost. He's not just a scorer. He's a defensive anchor on the wing, a creator in transition, and someone who can change the tone of the game with his presence. Losing him for even 1 or 2 early games shifts the dynamic considerably, forcing the coaching staff to adjust rotations and rely on other players to step up. That could mean Sam Hauser sliding into the starting 3 spot if Jaylen isn't ready. But as talented as Hauser is, there's no replacing the combination of scoring, athleticism, and defensive impact that Brown brings. The Celtics need him on the floor for the majority of the season if they want to compete at the highest level, and even a handful of games missed could alter how the team starts its campaign. In the last game against the Raptors, though, we got a glimpse of what Boston's opening night lineup might look like if Brown is healthy. Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Chris Buckheit, and Neemias Queta joined him in the rotation, showing the potential configuration the Celtics may roll out with. But that question mark next to the 3 spot is looming for a reason. If Brown is out, other wings and bench pieces will have to shoulder more responsibility from scoring to defensive assignments. Pritchard and White are versatile and experienced, but they're not Jaylen Brown. Anthony Simons could see more minutes, and Sam Hauser might be asked to create more offense, but all of these adjustments come with a learning curve. It's one thing to fill minutes in preseason, but the intensity and stakes of regular season games, especially against top-tier opponents, are another challenge entirely. Even with a potential absence, the Celtics do have promising depth. Josh Myatt and Chris Buckheit have shown flashes of being capable impact players, particularly Buckheit, who has arguably been one of the most consistent contributors throughout the preseason. And then there's Hugo Gonzalez, the first-round pick who's been turning heads. Originally expected to spend more time developing in the G League, Gonzalez has impressed with his energy, defensive instincts, and efficiency on offense. If Brown needs to miss a few games early on, Gonzalez could see valuable minutes, giving the Celtics a bench wing who can contribute both ends of the floor. His readiness and ability to adapt quickly could help mitigate the temporary loss of a star player, And it's the kind of development you want to see in a young prospect stepping into meaningful NBA minutes. Brown himself has spoken positively about the supporting cast. He's confident in the talent around him, emphasizing that the team is capable of competing without overreacting to mistakes or losses. That mindset will be critical if the Celtics have to navigate a few games without their all-NBA caliber wing. Meanwhile, the coaching staff, led by MAZZULLA, has been cautious but optimistic. While updates have been limited, the message is clear. Brown is expected to be fine, but his recovery timeline will be closely monitored. Patience is key, as a rushed return could lead to a recurrence, which history shows is a real risk. The team would rather ensure he's fully healthy than risk further complications early in the season. Looking at the broader picture, even with this early injury concern, the Celtics are shaping up with a mixture of experienced players and promising newcomers. The depth chart on the wings is a point of focus, particularly if Brown is sidelined. Sam Hauser's ability to fill in, while not equivalent to Jalen, adds a layer of scoring and shooting, and players like Pritchard, White, and Simons will need to elevate their play to compensate. At the same time, young prospects like Gonzalez offer a glimpse into the future, potentially providing rotation stability and defensive versatility. It's a balancing act between immediate needs and long-term development. But the Celtics have the pieces to navigate this period, provided the team exercises caution with Brown's hamstring and uses the next week wisely in managing his minutes. Preseason performances have also highlighted some areas to monitor. Baylor Sherman and Jordan Walsh have had mixed results, with defensive lapses and inconsistent production, while Myatt and Buckheit have emerged as more reliable contributors. Gonzalez has surpassed expectations, showing not just effort but advanced instincts, both offensively and defensively. While it's still early, the Celtics are in a strong position to integrate these players into meaningful roles if needed, and Brown's eventual return will provide the finishing touch to a deep, versatile roster. Every minute he misses is a chance for others to develop, but it also underscores his importance. The team's success, particularly early in the season, will hinge on balancing these elements and keeping him healthy. The energy and mentality of players like Brown and Gonzalez will be crucial in navigating this period. Brown's leadership and two-way ability set the tone for the team, and Gonzalez's rookie energy has the potential to spark plays and maintain defensive intensity. The combination of experienced leadership, promising young talent, and careful management of injuries is what will determine the Celtics' trajectory in the early part of the season. Even with a small setback, the team is capable of maintaining competitiveness, but Brown's availability remains a central concern that must be addressed with precision and patience. With Jaylen Brown's status uncertain for opening night, a lot of attention shifts to how the Celtics bench and young wings can pick up the slack. Sam Hauser stepping into the starting three spot would be a natural move if Brown isn't ready, but it's clear that he's not a like-for-like replacement. Hauser brings spacing, three-point shooting, and solid decision-making, but he doesn't have the same ability to create off the dribble or defend multiple positions at an elite level. That means other players will need to step into more demanding roles, particularly defensively. Derek White and Peyton Pritchard can handle ball handling and playmaking responsibilities, but the Celtics' wing defense will need to be more collective, more aggressive, and smarter in rotations to compensate for Brown's absence. Every defensive switch and transition moment will be magnified without one of the league's top two-way wings on the floor. This situation puts additional pressure on young players like Hugo Gonzalez, who's already impressed throughout preseason games. He's shown a willingness to compete at a high level, energy that can lift the team, and defensive instincts that make him capable of contributing even in high-intensity matchups. Gonzalez has made a strong impression with his timing on rotations, his ability to contest shots without fouling, and his effort on the glass. Offensively, his three-point shooting and ability to make plays in the open court have been standout elements, though his ball handling and decision-making still have room for growth. The Celtics coaching staff is clearly intrigued by his potential, and this could be the moment where a young player transitions from a development project to a regular rotation piece. Meanwhile, the rest of the depth chart is under scrutiny. Baylor Sherman and Jordan Walsh haven't delivered consistently, and their defensive lapses have drawn attention. Sherman's shooting hasn't always found its mark, and Walsh, while athletic, has struggled to make a noticeable impact in limited minutes. This preseason has been a proving ground, and it's evident that Boston's wing rotation may rely more on new talent and proven veterans rather than players who haven't yet demonstrated consistent contributions. The upcoming games, especially against teams like Philadelphia, will be a true test of how resilient this roster is without Brown fully available. For the Celtics, the balance between caution and competitiveness is delicate. You can't risk re-injuring Brown, but you also can't afford to lose early games that could set the tone for the season. This is where management and coaching must carefully monitor minutes and matchups. Players like White and Pritchard may need to log extended minutes, which could affect their stamina and performance as the season begins. Yet, if managed correctly, the Celtics can navigate this short-term challenge while giving younger players opportunities to gain confidence and experience. That development may pay dividends later in the season, especially during stretches when the schedule is grueling or when injuries inevitably pop up. Brown's influence on both ends of the floor cannot be overstated. Offensively, he's capable of creating his own shot, facilitating for teammates, and forcing defenses to collapse, opening lanes and opportunities for others. Defensively, his versatility allows him to guard multiple positions, contest shots at the rim, and disrupt passing lanes. Without him, the Celtics will need to rely on collective effort and smart scheme adjustments to maintain the same level of competitiveness. Coaches will likely emphasize team defense, closeouts, and switching responsibilities to cover for his absence, while also finding ways to maximize Hauser, Buckheit, and Gonzalez in offensive sets. Preseason games have offered a glimpse of potential solutions. Chris Buckheit, for instance, has consistently provided scoring punch and energy, while Myatt has been efficient in his role. The Celtics' mix of young players and experienced veterans could absorb short-term gaps, especially if the team focuses on shared responsibility and high basketball IQ plays. Hugo Gonzalez may emerge as a rotation cornerstone off the bench, giving the Celtics a reliable wing who can defend and knock down shots. His ability to adapt quickly will be vital in minimizing the impact of Brown's potential absence. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The basketball world was sent into a whirlwind this week as whispers from Boston began to surface. Joe MAZZULLA, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, is reportedly out. Sources close to the team have not confirmed details publicly, but chatter around the NBA circles suggests a sudden and surprising move that could shake the Eastern Conference landscape. MAZZULLA, who took the reins of the Celtics amid high expectations, had seen both highs and lows in his tenure. While his leadership brought moments of tactical brilliance, insiders say tensions behind the scenes may have reached a boiling point. Discussions in league circles hint at disagreements over roster management and strategy, though no one has officially commented. Fans on social media have been quick to speculate, creating a frenzy of possible scenarios ranging from internal power struggles to a desire from the front office to pivot in a new direction before the next season. The timing of this rumored dismissal has left many scratching their heads. The Celtics have consistently been a contender in the East, but whispers suggest that the management might be looking for a fresh voice, someone who can inject energy and perhaps a new philosophy into a team that has, at times, underperformed relative to its talent. Could a marquee name be on the horizon, or is Boston leaning toward an up-and-coming coach from within its ranks? Rumors are swirling fast, with insiders refusing to rule out either possibility. Meanwhile, players reportedly have been caught off guard, with sources describing a locker room still processing the news. How the team will respond to this rumored shakeup remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Boston basketball may be on the verge of a dramatic turning point. Fans and analysts alike are bracing for announcements, trades, or strategic shifts that could redefine the Celtics' path forward. As of now, all eyes are on the city of Boston, waiting for the official word and pondering the next chapter in one of the NBA's most storied franchises. If the rumors hold any weight, MAZZULLA's departure could mark the start of a dramatic off-season saga, filled with speculation, intrigue, and the usual whirlwind that accompanies the Celtics' every move. For now, the city buzzes with questions. Who will lead the team next? And what does the future hold for Boston basketball? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.